You know what?
This is Gaius M0, and you might be wondering why I'm holding up a rubber band to the screen. Well, today I'm going to teach you an old schoolboy's way of having fun in classes in which they really didn't care about what grade they had and just wanted to annoy the heck out of anybody that was really close to them, whether it was the teacher, another student, or maybe themselves. Well, yeah, maybe themselves, but that was just if they were that bored. It's being desperate. I will show you the three different darts or hornets, depending on what you want to call them. People in most high school students call them hornets. Most grade school students call them darts. I really don't care what you have to call them, as long as they annoy the heck or just sting the fuck out of somebody. The first, this dart or hornet is called the sweat bee. This is small, but it stings. It'll sting the living daylights out of anybody within range. Want to see how to make them? Well, you need a sheet of paper about this big. Now, I did lines so you could kind of see the size and relativity of it, but here's how you make it. Fold this in half like this. Fold it in half like this again. It's got to create what's almost a perfect rectangle or square, depending on what kind of sweat bee you want. A tall, equal sized, or slim. That's a sweat bee. Now let's get one that was already made, which is going to be this one any goddamn way. These things got some range, since they're that small. You got to pull your rubber band back like this. Although the main problem with these is that they tend to spin off unless you actually know what you're doing. Like what just happened there. Did you hear that? That actually bounced off the wall. Now, hearing that sound made it sound like it stung. The next type, the Super Hornet. This is the actual name of it. This thing is huge. It actually takes a whole sheet of paper. 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Yeah, one of these. You can imagine that's supposed to hurt. As a matter of fact, it is. This tends to get the most range, even though this, despite its size. You gotta pull it back like that. See? That can actually get range. But you want to see how to make it? You gotta make it like the sweat bee, except on a large scale. And you don't fold it down to a small square like you're supposed to. Instead, you leave it as a rectangle. It's very simple. The next type is called Long Johns. Hence the name. These were elongated and were meant for annoying people. They weren't really meant for pain or causing a stinging sensation type thing. The whole idea behind it was to annoy the student in front of you. Yeah, and I quite literally mean annoy the hell out of the student that's sitting right in front of you. Now this requires a small rubber, this doesn't even require a good size rubber band. You can use any rubber band or something and this will actually fly. Want to see how to make it? It's actually a lot easier. Actually really easy. Let me tear up a few sheets. Now the thing is, gotta start off with a sheet of paper twice the size of what you had for the sweat bee. Just two of them. Gotta fold it over like this. You gotta go like this. Then you gotta fold it over like this. So you can make it long. Then you just gotta fold over. And you're ready to spit long johns at your neighbor. Or your best friend. Maybe even the teacher. When he or she's not looking. Yeah. I'm watching you, Mr. Brennan. I'm watching you. Just kidding. I really wouldn't actually hit the teacher, because many students that have actually done this in the 8th grade year, back when I was in 8th grade, most of the 6th and 7th grade students had actually done that to the teachers, and they got serious detention. So, just to give you a fair warning and disclaimer, if you hit the teacher and get detention, I'll laugh because it's funny. But don't say I didn't warn you, okay? It's only fun for after school, where you can't really get in too much trouble for it. Let's see how this thing's supposed to actually get launched. Now, long johns, if you want to get just your neighbor or the person in front of you, start off flat like that. Now, those things could get range. So if you're the kid that sat in the back seat and you want to get the nerd sitting right, like 2-3 rows in front of you, good target. Matter of fact, the thing is, the idea is to shoot up. I actually have a second one made so I can show you. Just gotta aim up. And it shouldn't ricochet off the ceiling, because most ceilings are a lot higher. But the thing is, it'll ricochet off the ceiling, and if the teacher doesn't notice, booyah! You annoy the living shit out of the nerd. And the thing is also a great way to pass notes. In the middle of class, if somebody needed an answer for like a question and needed homework that actually needed help turning in, maybe just in the middle of the test you wanted to slip somebody the answer that actually probably needed help, and you're not even sitting next to each other, when the teacher's not looking. Now, you can go get those darts.
Ooh. Hey guys, here's one. The super long john.
Not a good one. Okay, now that I got them, I'll show you the 2 different rubber bands you could actually need. This is called the Super Snake. These are large for a reason. They're meant to get range. But if you're not careful, you can actually get yourself. So don't be an idiot and do the same thing that you do with a rubber band. Don't go slingshot. That'll actually hurt yourself. Got to double back with a single. It might actually break. You got also less chance of breakage. Now this is a great one for the long johns and the Super Hornets. You can get really good range with this. Just to show you, here's a Super Hornet. Ow! As you can see, I actually did hurt myself doing that. If you're not careful, you can actually do that. Now, these are horrible. These don't work all too well with the sweat bees. Actually, they would. Let's try that again with the second sweat bee that I have. Ow. See? These kinds of rubber bands can actually hurt you. The best place to get rubber bands this size is to get yourself a balsa wood rubber band powered aircraft. You can actually get rubber bands that size from stuff like that. They may be vintage, but they're fun. See, I just got some pretty good range off that. That's great. Hey, buddy, can you get my darts? Now, I don't call them Hornets. I call them darts. But at my school, they're called Hornets. So if I hear anybody saying darts, I'm going to laugh. Because it's actually the truth. They're actually called Hornets. There's my brother throwing back my darts. I'm missing one of my sweat bees.
Your sweat bee is under your airplane.
Where? No, Luke. No. There's one out there. Somewhere. Yeah, there's one out there somewhere. No, I can always make another sweat bee. I don't give a crap. I can always make a second sweat bee. They're actually fun to make. It's actually the most common one in high schools. They're small and they're actually undetectable. And that super long rubber band I just showed you, you can launch it straight at the nerd, right? Like 3 rows down. And see what I mean? That wasn't a sound effect I wanted to play. There was actually some cop cars outside my house. Oh, not really coming after me. They're going after somebody else. Not my fault. So, these, they're great for long distance. I'm going to make myself another one of those Super Hornets. That's what everybody will really call them, Super Hornets. They're actually most commonly used in grades 1 through 4. Because they don't know physics, and they really just don't know how not to get caught yet. Now, people like me, we've done this for years, and we know how not to get caught. There, another Super Hornet. Super fun, super easy. And another one that can actually double as an annoyance. Now, when those when those sweat bees actually come to hit you, most people will do that thinking it's actually a sweat bee. And they'll actually sting themselves with their own hands. It's so funny. Just watch out yourself, because other students may be shooting them at you. And be careful. That nerd might actually be suspecting what's coming and actually carrying his own armament. So be prepared for a war when the teacher's not looking.
Hey, a message for the high school students. If you get caught, it's detention time.
It's not true. I haven't been caught yet. Yay! I haven't been caught yet.
That's true.
Now, these types of rubber bands, they're called the Bulldogs. They're the ones that you can actually fit on your wrist like this. And if you're going to a high school that actually requires you wearing dress shirts, in other words, long sleeves kind of dress shirts with ties and everything, you can hide these under them very easily. And when you need it, just slip it out like this. You're ready to fight. It's very easy to put away and store, very easy to flip out. Now, those are more for short distance, but if you're really good with pulling it back, the Bulldogs can actually get far enough range, you can actually hit the board. I mean the chalkboard from the way back seat. While you're Googling stuff on your computer. If your school allows you to use tablets or computers of some sort, you can look like you're doing work in class while going around the side like this and flicking somebody. Yeah, it's so funny. Now, on to the second type of prank. These are called the contact pranks. You ever seen this? It's called the Eiffel Tower. Now, when you want to actually strike somebody, you gotta take this end here, the end with 2 fingers, put it on somebody, and drop it down as fast as possible, and it'll actually sting. Works better with the Bulldog type rubber bands. The longer the rubber band, the less the pain there is. Oh! And to make it even more extreme, attach a sweat bee to one of those. It's so freaking awesome to watch them scream in pain. Okay. This is Gaius M0 saying goodbye and good day to all of you. And happy hunting and good time in detention. Because this might actually happen to you. You will go to detention if you do this.